video games, man.
Dude, video games. Okay, so we kind of got the hard stuff out of the way the first podcast, right? So it turns out that my favorite thing in the world is music, but I also really love like video games.
Yeah.
And so recently I've gotten really into comic books, like really into comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did my first. I did not build it, but I did my first cosplay.
Cool. What was it?
Deathstroke.
Okay.
Do you know Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're going into this stuff. Oh, I'm so excited. This is my favorite stuff. So I'm such a nerd or a geek when it comes to like lore or like stories or like we were talking at lunch.
Yeah.
Like video games with like awesome stories, right? Like, that's me, but like with any medium.
Sure.
I just love a good story. Concept albums, so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, concept albums are the best.
Do you have you listened to Coheed and Cambria at all?
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. I don't know, man. I just something about them. Just do they have a concept album?
All of Coheed and Cambria is a concept.
Their whole career is a concept.
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm gonna have to check them out now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, so like ICP. Yeah, let me hit you with that. They're not good. I do not like them at all. But they did this whole 6-album concept when they first came out.
Sure.
Their first 6 albums are a concept.
Yeah.
Like, part of me loves that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta appreciate that.
I don't like them at all because they're terrible.
Well,
but,
I mean, just...
yeah, man. ICP.
And I mean, I don't condone this at all, but like, the Bible says you must not suffer a witch to live. Like, juggalos are probably like the most hated, like,
dude,
like people.
All I'm saying is, how do you build a career over spraying soda pop on people? Like, they literally, their whole career is like, let's get Faygo and spray it on a bunch of people that are dressed as clowns. It's crazy. Yeah. Whatever. But no, concepts are my favorite. So I was helping Scott Booker, my boss, if you listen to the last podcast. So I was helping him, and he in his office in Edmond, and he has a whole wall of comics. So I'm helping him move all these things, and I was like, man, these are kind of cool. Like, what, like... Yeah. So I had previously read Watchmen, which a lot of people are like, hey, this is like the best, like, you should read this. I read Watchmen and loved it. I thought, this is great. And I never got anything else. So, I was helping him move stuff, and I was like, man, I'm going to go... There's a comic book store right by my house. Yeah. Where I moved in, and I had not ever been there. So I walked in, and I was like... Guy was like, hey, can I help you look for something? And I was like, well, I don't know. I have never read comics my entire life. I've read Watchmen, and it was great. And I love Batman. Yeah. That's all I can tell you. So
the comic book guy goes like,
man,
have I got something for you.
I mean, pretty much. So he's like, yeah, you should read a series called Planetary. By the way, if you haven't read Planetary is phenomenal. No spoilers, but there's this moment in it where you're like, oh my god, like, this is crazy. Like, it's like kind of meta. It's like, I guess in a way, I don't know if it's technically meta, but when I was reading, I was like, wow, it's so meta. So I started reading these comic books. I started going in and like befriending this guy. Turns out he was the owner of the store. His name is Buck. Super nice guy. Like, he just was always like very...
Is that the one off of 63rd?
And Meridian. Yeah. Yeah, everyone go to New World Comics. Yeah. It is fantastic. The guy who owns it, Buck, is super nice. He's helped me a lot, like, just with, like, what should I read? Or, like, hey, like, I mean, he's just a good guy to sit and, like, talk to. I'll go in there sometimes. It's great. But yeah, so I started reading Planetary, and then I got into, like, the newest run of Swamp Thing, and then I was like, man, Batman's cool, so I started reading Batman stuff, and I mean, it's just gotten to a point where I just have, like, I love comic books so much.
Real quick.
Okay.
Zack Snyder, Watchmen. Because I haven't read Watchmen, but I really enjoy the movie.
Okay.
Because of the philosophical stuff. As you can tell, I'm pretty philosophical about stuff.
Okay, so first of all, you should read Watchmen. It's so good.
Probably.
If you need to borrow a copy, I have one.
Okay.
And I would totally read it to you, as long as you don't rip in half or anything crazy.
Nope.
It's very good. It's very good. Okay, so can we... Spoiler alert? Can we...
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, well, I guess... If you're going to read...
Sure,
but if you're going to read it, then I won't spoil it for you.
Because, even having watched the movie... It's
so they changed the ending in the movie.
Okay.
And the ending in the comics is crazy. Okay, so it's the same basic ending. It's how it was done.
Sure.
Okay, so you'll read it. It's great. Yeah. No, it's so good.
But what I enjoy about Zack Snyder's approach, even in Batman vs Superman, which was a bad movie.
I'll argue that with you, but that's okay.
That his philosophical approach is on point. The way that he attacks the whole concept of Dr. Manhattan and being God, but also
so that's totally what Alan Moore tackles in the comic as well. And tackles I think my favorite... So this happens in the movie. So this kind of is... I guess statute of limitations is over or whatever. Sure. But at the end when Osmandia... Or Osmandus or whatever his name is.
Sure.
Oz. Tells Rorschach and Night Owl his master plan. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we're going to stop you. And he does the whole not typical comic book thing. It's it's already happened.
Yeah.
And not because usually it's what James Bond is they tell him the plan, then he stops the plan. He was no, this already happened. You're too late. And they were if you want to listen, if you you can tell people this happened and cause a lot more problems, or I just solved all these problems.
Yeah.
Even though it killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's oh. Snap, yo! That's crazy. That little thing is what was so cool, right?
Mm-hmm. To hit a hero and go oh, I'm gonna stop you. It's
no, you're not.
And by trying to be a hero, you're just gonna mess more.
You're
gonna
be
up.
A villain.
Yeah,
and that's it completely subverted. I mean, I think when it was written in the '80s. It completely subverted superheroes. It completely was the superhero story, and it was just awesome. And there's since then I feel there has been a lot of I'm by no means comic expert. I've been reading for 3 months.
Yeah, sure.
I've read a lot though. I've tried to read a lot. There's been a numerous number of. It's not. There has been a numerous amount of stories that though that will take an idea. Another one Alan Moore wrote, V for Vendetta, which I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
it's been a while actually.
Oh man, you should watch the movie and you should read that comic because it's all about what is justice, what is actual justice, not what is the governmental defined version of justice. Because I mean, hey, in the world we see today, we can see that that necessarily isn't the best thing.
Yeah.
What is what is a government's job? And it takes all these really kind of intense political questions and semi-philosophical questions of am I my own man or am I living under the guise of this government or whatever? And it takes those and really just has this crazy story around them. And there's a scene where V kind of puts someone he loves through something very difficult to show them, hey, this is what's kind of going on.
Yeah.
I won't really get I don't like spoiling things is hard, right?
I know, right?
I don't like it because I'm like everyone should. If you haven't read it, you should read it. It's great. So this thing happens, and like it's very hard for that person to go through it. But he did it for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, sometimes bad things happen for a reason. Oh my God, like and like I don't know, man. There's so many good stories. Alan Moore is a fantastic writer. Like regardless.
Yeah. Getting to like again the whole philosophical approach, especially in film, because going back to like Batman versus Superman, I feel like he did tackle like the whole like the symbolism of like everyone like reaching out towards like Superman and stuff, and it's really cool. Like
okay, so I feel like he tried to put like some like okay. Let me back up. I'm a DC person and not a Marvel person.
I'm a Marvel person, not a DC person.
Fair enough.
Put your research on my chocolate. Wait, peanut butter chocolate.
Yeah, I know. I definitely know that your favorite superhero is Spider-Man. Yeah. Having listened to your podcast before. Yeah. Spider-Man is great. Mm-hmm. The exception for me for Marvel is X-Men.
Okay.
I think those characters are fantastic.
Yeah. Not the Fantastic Four?
Those are also fantastic. But no, I think X-Men is like a very interesting way to approach superheroes by saying they're mutants.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It brings up this whole other topic of like, well, I'm kind of like weird, or like people who are like the norm, or who have disabilities maybe, or something. Yeah. Like, that's fantastic. But yeah, but overall, I'm a DC guy, right? Because of Batman. I just cannot get away from how great Batman is.
Like I said in that podcast, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. Batman is the best superhero.
Batman's the best. Oh, he makes me so happy. He's so sad. He's so troubled. No, but I feel like Zack Snyder has done a fairly good job with these movies. By no means are they like amazing or anything like that, but I thought Man of Steel was cool when it came out. I was like, man, that's a really cool way to show Superman. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
I haven't, but you know after.
Yeah, but the end of that movie is like, that's not what Superman would have done.
Exactly.
But that's okay. I'm getting over it. Whatever.
Sure.
So then, Batman versus Superman. I saw the extended cut. I don't know if you've seen the extended cut.
I haven't seen the extended cut. I haven't had a chance to.
It makes it a lot better. It really does. It adds a lot of like kind of the things that we're missing.
Does it explain why Batman kills people?
No, and that's okay. Hold on. Ben Affleck. Don't murder people as Batman, because that's not what Batman does.
His Batman was excellent.
I like his Batman better than Christian Bale. I'll say it.
Yeah,
I'll say
his
it.
Batman was excellent.
Not as good. Like The Dark Knight is maybe the best Batman movie that will ever be made ever. But, dude, you don't murder people. You're Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, it bums me out, man.
Yeah.
I was like watching Batman Superman. And I'm sitting there with a couple friends, and we're watching it on the TV at home, and gets that warehouse scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, that person didn't live. No, that person is dead. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's not
Batman.
I mean,
even in the Batmobile, like, shooting the cars, just like...
Yes! Like
that, you can't...
But also, Batman totally murders people in the old, like, 80s and 90s movies.
Original,
like,
old ones.
Yeah, and then, like, even in the older, like, comics, he kind of...
He carried a gun.
Yeah, he murdered people, like, which is kind of crazy. Only, I think... I could be wrong in quoting this, but I think Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns...
Yes, Frank Miller.
Was the comic that really brought Batman into a serious... First of all, brought him into a very serious light.
Yeah.
And also brought him into a... He's very conflicted because he doesn't want to kill people. It's kind of the thing of like, listen, if the Joker would... Or if Batman would just murder the Joker...
Yeah.
How many people would he be saving?
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen? Joker's going to break out again. It's going to happen. But now there's like 3 Jokers. I don't know if you've heard about that. Oh, there's like this whole... Okay. So comics are like, okay, lore and like continuity, comics are the worst. Because people die and they come back for no reason. And the Lazarus pits and all this stuff. And like apparently now there's like 3 Jokers. And they're all are like different, and so it's like I don't know, man. It's this whole thing. I don't even know how to. It's crazy. But with Batman and Superman versus Superman, I really thought that besides the whole killing people thing, it was a very well done movie in terms of what I want. I would love to see the DC universe go that direction.
Sure.
Because DC has always been a little bit darker, I feel.
Yeah.
It's always been a little bit more, not grounded in reality, but grounded in, like, real human feelings.
Sure.
Right? And not that Marvel hasn't tackled some of that stuff.
It's just that, like, right now it's a little too dark. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like take the camera filters off.
Yeah.
At least. Like, because it's a little
there's
dark,
that
literally dark.
There's
in
one.
general.
I feel like there's one, or like a couple bits of attempted levity in Batman Superman. One is the Jolly Rancher. Do you remember that part where Lex Luthor tries to put a Jolly Rancher in a dude's mouth?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, the piss jar was also.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally. I thought that was clever.
Yes. And then I really think the biggest, like, oh God, come on, guys, was is she with you? Oh, I thought she was with you. That part, you know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, like, come on, that's so bad. But I really liked it. Now, I liked Man of Steel. I like Batman versus Superman. Now, Suicide Squad.
This one we can't spoil because
yes,
it's
I will.
fresh.
Yes, it is not even out on DVD yet. Okay.
That was just a bad movie.
I enjoyed it.
It was
fun. From a wow, this is a fun movie. Overall, it was bad. Now I thought the actors did a fantastic. The guy who played Boomerang, I think he did a great job. I think Margot Robbie did a fantastic job as Harley Quinn. I think she nailed the accent, and I preferred the old school Harley Quinn costume from like the animated series. I understand they're trying to like whatever, like sex it up or you know.
I'm not fond of it either.
No, and like even Margot Robbie said like,
yeah,
and like she's kind of like this crazy like model actress person.
Well, I mean, who
kind of built her career on
full nude in
Wolf of Wall Street, which I haven't seen that movie. I don't even know if I want to see that movie. I've heard it's all right.
It's jarring. Like it is up in your face. Like here is the money and the sex and the drugs, but that's the point.
Exactly right. But like like Margot Robbie, who I guess is most notable for doing full frontal nudity in Wolf of Wall Street.
Or at least people remember her.
People remember her for that, yeah. She even said, like, she did not feel comfortable getting that costume every single day on set because it was... She was like, I'd go out to eat and eat, like, a hot dog for lunch or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm feeling bloated in this costume, just like...
Yeah.
Someone get ogled at, like, in this...
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation,
sure.
But... I think she did fantastic as Harley Quinn is basically what I'm saying. I think Will Smith is great as Deadshot.
I think he was too much Will Smith and not enough Deadshot.
I think there was a great balance, personally, but
I feel like it was Will Smith in a Deadshot costume.
Yeah, I can feel that. But yeah, it was fun. Man, somebody needs to fire Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever... Okay, I haven't seen 300.
But slow motion.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch that. I own it. I just haven't watched it yet. He would make a great cinematographer. I don't know if he's a very good director. That opening sequence to Watchmen, where it shows... Okay, so like, there's the opening sequence... You haven't read Watchmen, oh my gosh. So, there's the opening sequence that shows all these little different things happening. So all those things are from the graphic novel that they didn't put into the movie because they're like these just little tiny bits. But they're in the opening credits, and it's like, oh, like that's like the dollar bill and how he died in the opening credits. It's so cool or whatever. Like, there's all these little things that make it really interesting, I think. But yeah, man, I just wish that someone would grab the reins of the DC universe and pull it away from Zack Snyder.
Just make it good.
And just make it good. Because
in
Marvel
the same
has
way
done...
that like the MCU has just been able to.
So, the MCU, I have not seen a lot of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the first 2 Iron Mans. Iron Mans? I don't know how you would say that.
The first 2 Iron Man movies.
There you go. First 2 Iron Man movies. I've seen The Incredible Hulk with the no longer with us Ed Norton. And no longer with us as
dead,
in...
but,
no longer with us as in no longer in the MC universe.
Yeah.
Because he's insane.
Yeah, he's kind of
a jerk.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then Mark Ruffalo's better. I'll say it.
Sure.
And then I've seen the first Thor. That's it.
Okay.
So I haven't seen any of the Captain Americas. I haven't seen any of the Avengers.
Okay.
I am working my way through them.
Yeah. I was going to mention something about the second Avengers movie, but I guess I don't want to... It's not really spoiling anything.
Yeah, no, go for it. I don't care.
Conversation about is that... And I don't want you to like have this notion and have it disappoint you about the movie. But in the second Avengers movie, there was Ultron, who I was already disappointed because in the comics it was Hank Pym who made Ultron, and Hank Pym is a freaking genius. Hank Pym makes Tony Stark's technology look like a steam engine.
What's his? Does he have a superhero name too, or is it just
Ant-Man?
That's Ant-Man. Okay,
he's the original Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah. He's the guy who like had all that controversy, right? Because he beat his wife or something.
I don't know. But
anyway, sorry. That was way off.
In the Ant-Man movie, it's Scott Lang who was the second Ant-Man.
Yes.
But Hank Pym is like super genius, has all the technology. Because the way that the Ant-Man suit works is that he shrinks particles to where the space between them is also possible, so that like you can actually shrink without microfluidics killing you.
Yes.
But anyways, aside from the whole Tony Stark made Ultron rather than Hank Pym, the whole like thing with Ultron, it was just like the fear of AI in general.
Yeah.
Which the fear of AI is just like, if we have a computer that amasses all of the information of the world, has, basically the power to kill us all or just manipulate all the information or whatever. And so it did that, but I find that the assumption to have that be the conclusion is silly.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the fear of AI is the same fear that Batman has of Superman. Does that make sense? That
100%.
That Superman has the power to just take over the world and kill anyone he wants, and no one can stop him. There's still the possibility, and that's why Batman
freaks out.
Doesn't want him to be around. That's the quandary. And so with AI, it's the same thing. Hey, here's a new consciousness that has access to all of the information, and it can just
the AI being Ultron, correct?
Yeah. Okay. And so the conclusion, however small the possibility it would be in actuality, the conclusion is, Ultron AI has all the information of the internet and stuff, decides, well, I have to kill the Avengers. Which to me is like, okay, fine, let's go with that.
Yeah.
And then he throws in a whole bunch of stuff that's really philosophical. He has Bible references in there.
Yeah.
And the movie just tosses that at an audience that's just eating popcorn and just here's a massive philosophical quandary and we're not going to say anything about it and just continue to the action.
Yeah.
And it's just but that was
hold on.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
Because later in the movie, the Vision and I won't spoil anything about the Vision, but we just know that the Vision is in the movie.
Yeah.
With the Vision, him and Ultron have this conversation, and the Vision is also this conscious AI. that goes, well, I choose to, love and save people rather than kill them.
Yeah.
Which is just like, well, that's the alternate conclusion. Why couldn't Ultron?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, that movie is really cool. It's really action-packed. It has all this stuff. But, like, the philosophy, logistics don't quite make sense.
Yeah. Man, with the MCU, I don't know what it is. I want to watch those movies, but I have just little to no interest in those characters.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I always grew up a DC person, like with Batman. And I love... Okay. I have a little bone to pick with you about these X-Men movies that you say are so bad.
Sure.
I'm joking, but
the third one was bad.
Third one was bad.
The
Apocalypse
was
First
bad.
Class, X-Men First Class.
That one
is
was
so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good. I love that series.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Apocalypse, but yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I want to watch it.
Yeah, no, do
I've recently watched. I haven't seen most of them. I'd seen maybe the first one or two, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I've recently gone and
yeah,
you can find them for so cheap.
Yeah.
Half price books has it's like here's the first 4 for like $15, and I was like,
sure,
sweet,
yeah,
why not? And so I've now watched all of them up through Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I enjoyed it,
which I thought was cool. I watched the director's cut, the Rogue cut, which had just like a little bit more of Rogue in it.
Yeah,
which is cool. Man, the way they approached that movie was like crazy.
Time travel is difficult
to
tackle.
I liked
and
it.
they did it okay.
Yeah, I liked it, but whatever. But I'm excited about Apocalypse. I'm just a little nervous because I don't know. Okay, so after Days of Future Past, they had. I don't know if this is spoilers, but the after credits scene. I don't know if you saw it.
Can't remember because it's been a while.
But it had reference to Apocalypse. It had him or whatever, standing outside, in, the pyramids or whatever.
Which was just supposed to be a teaser for now.
Yeah, teaser we're doing the Apocalypse series.
Yeah.
But I'm just I don't know, man. I'm just nervous because everybody's saying it's not very good, and I'm like, man. I thought the only terrible one was Last Stand.
Yeah.
But even that was enjoyable to watch.
Sure.
It was just kind of like, that's bad. Also, the real worst one is X-Men Wolverine Origins. Is a nightmare of a movie. Oh my goodness!
It had its good points. No. There was a point in time where I defended it, and then I realized, oh wait.
Listen, anytime you get Bone Claws Wolverine, I'm in. But also,
exactly. That's where I was like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Bone Claws Wolverine,
but also,
James Howlett, let's go.
If you've seen The Wolverine,
that one was a bad movie.
So good.
What?
Yes, when he's in Japan.
Well, yeah, but
I loved it.
It was just odd, and I don't know why they made it in the first place.
I know. I liked it a lot. I guess we differ in that. But that's
okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna change topics here. You ready?
Okay.
Marvel Universe. Have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
I think I played the first one. They are so cool.
They are so cool.
It's been a
So
while,
they just recently remastered them.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the remastering is super bad. Or the packaging and the price and everything you get out of it.
So the usual conversation about remasters is, it's mostly a cash grab. Hey, instead of making a new thing that's cool and intuitive, we can just bring the old thing to the new thing and not have to make something new.
Yeah.
And just kind of spit shine it and throw it out. I mean, it's obviously a little bit more difficult than just file save as Xbox One version, but
man, wouldn't that be nice?
But the fact that companies you could take all this funding that you are putting towards a remastered version and just make
like a newer thing. Game?
Yeah. And so just like in general, if the remaster is there because maybe people have missed out on it and it's not available on the newer platforms because of like a distance in time. So, for example, I mean, bad example is like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. That game came out like near the end of the last cycle, and just putting it to the next one is just like, why?
Buy it for another $60.
Yeah. So that's just like kind of dumb.
No, yeah, completely.
But going all the way back to, let's say, if they were to do a remastered version of like Oblivion.
Oh my gosh.
Which would be
don't get my hopes
awesome.
up. I want Morrowind more so than Oblivion.
Yeah.
But man,
that would be
Skyrim,
even more.
and I'm so done playing Skyrim. I played so much of Skyrim. I never want to play that game again. I played so much of it. But give me an Oblivion.
Yeah. If they did
give me an Oblivion with the same sort of changes you've made to those games since Oblivion, right?
I think that Oblivion's my favorite.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls, because it's still an RPG.
Yes, very much so.
Skyrim is not an RPG. I'm sorry to say,
a little bit. There are elements.
It's choose your own adventure, but it's not an RPG.
Okay.
RPG stands for role-playing game.
You can play different roles in that game.
Yeah, you can play all of them, which is not a role.
Yes, no, I know.
And so that's sort of the point.
Yeah.
You know, like the point of an RPG is to go, I do this thing, and I'm going to get good at this thing.
Absolutely.
And in the things that I can't do over here, I make up for in this way.
Yes.
Right? So Oblivion had the balance of like, oh, hey, here's, here's your role, get good at it. And like, people didn't like the world scaling to you as much, but the more that you like progress, the cooler it feels whenever you're like fighting a big dude and you're like, man, I got this.
Yeah.
Right?
I got so bogged down with Oblivion Gates. So bogged down.
Yeah, because then you can just beat it and just close them all.
Yeah. Absolutely, but like just the process of going through them. Like,
it gets old.
I need to play that game again.
It's so good.
Oh, I need to play that
I probably put more time into Oblivion than I did into Skyrim.
Yeah.
Also, the expansions like Shivering Isles and Knights of the Nine, excellent.
Great.
Like first DLC that was like really cool and worth it, barring horse armor. But
oh god, no horse armor. See, like I would say maybe Skyrim might be my favorite game, just because I put so much time into it. But I don't know if that's true or not, because I was thinking about this like over the past week. Of what is my favorite video game?
Yeah,
I don't know if I have one.
Yeah,
I mean, I just have a lot that I really like. Like when I think of my favorite memories of video games, did you? So like I was not allowed to play M-rated games when I was little.
Sure.
I mean, granted, for a good cause, but like even as my friends got older and started playing M-rated games, like in 8th grade or 9th grade, my mom was like, M-rated games are 17 and up. And you're not allowed to play them until you are. And I was like, oh man, Mom, you're bumming me out. But, I mean, of course I'd still go over to my friend's house and play them.
Yep.
Mom, if you're listening, sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. You probably already knew that. No, and so there was this whole world of these games that I had no access to. And it was so interesting to me. Yeah. And so, like, one of them, Grand Theft Auto. I was always infatuated with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But I never really played them. And even now, I've never really gotten into one.
Yeah.
I've tried to play 4, but it was just like, I don't know.
To be honest, GTA 4 is probably, like, not a great one to start with.
Yeah.
It was really popular, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. Yeah. But I would definitely recommend San Andreas.
I have that. I should play
San Andreas is, I think, the
pinnacle.
I mean, GTA 5 is the pinnacle of GTA.
GTA 5.
But, pre-GTA 5,
San Andreas.
San Andreas was on point.
Yeah, we were talking a lot. I'm terrible at staying with one game and beating it and playing it. I have a large backlog of games, and so it's very hard for me to stick with one game. But I was gonna say the game that is a GTA clone that I played a boatload of. I'm talking hours upon hours upon hours was The Godfather.
Really?
It is not a good game. It is not a game that is this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But something about you're in the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 1960s or 50s or whatever, and you're. I think it's part of the 50s, but you have these old-timey cars, you have Tommy guns, and something about that just completely grabbed me.
Yeah, you'd enjoy Vice City then. GTA Vice City.
Yeah, that's the one in Miami?
Yeah.
In the 80s?
It's set in Vice City, but...
okay, yes. Miami, quote-unquote. Yeah. Man.
And that one is super cool because it takes, the whole feel of, Miami Vice in, the 80s, and,
cocaine.
yeah. So, it takes that whole feel, and you just get, a little world there to play around with.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. But I think you would also enjoy San Andreas because it takes the whole gang thing.
Yeah.
And it's also just an amazing story. The story in that game is so good. But
I should definitely play that.
It has a cool perspective into, what it means to be a gang member and sort of why they're there and that whole situation. And I think that is why people really always enjoyed GTA. Not only are they excellent games, mechanically,
they play very well.
Drive around, you can do anything you want. It's a open world sandbox. That's GTA started the open world sandbox thing. But also the story is excellent.
I really like Rockstar game, Red Dead Redemption.
It's weird. I haven't played Red Dead yet.
Oh, dude, you probably find it for super cheap.
Yeah.
The story. I don't know if you know about the twist at the end. I think
I know how it ends, but it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't think it'll affect how I receive the story, anyways.
The end of that game is so good.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to tell you, or
no? I know what it is.
Oh, you know what it is.
I don't want to.
Yes. I don't. Yes, I don't. Yeah, it is so good, and the way it happens is so good. Oh man, it's just that to me is a pinnacle of storytelling in a video game.
Honestly, I think some of the best storytelling lately has been happening in indie games.
Yes.
So not quite as indie, but The Walking Dead Season 1 is, excellent storytelling.
Yeah.
It's a story-based game, and it started Telltale's whole Telltale thing.
I haven't played The Walking. I watched a Let's Play of the first season. And then I was like, oh, okay. It didn't really just resonate with me, the story or anything.
Okay.
Then again, I wasn't playing it. I wasn't actually choosing.
Yeah.
So maybe that was it. But I then played Wolf Among Us.
That one's real good.
So good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then I tried to play Tales of the Borderlands.
No.
Just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah. Telltale's hit and miss.
Because I love Batman so much, I bought Batman.
Yeah.
And so the first episode was out, and I played through that, and I thought, man, did I make a wrong choice here?
Well, but I haven't played it, but I heard that its biggest problem was just my parents died. hey, my parents died. It's like,
man, okay,
we get it.
Yeah, so
died. You're Batman.
So
we all know you're
to
Batman.
all the Batman creators out there, I don't need to see his parents get shot again in the alleyway.
Yeah,
I know it happened.
Like, or getting a
for
little
the love of God, like,
to it.
Please don't show me that his parents died again. I get it. They show the bloody movie tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he like holds them up at one point, starts crying or something, and I'm like, dude, okay, I get it. It's sad. Your parents died. Listen, I don't want my parents to die, but like, my goodness. So, but okay. I haven't played it, but the second episode just came out, and I've heard it's great.
Okay,
and it tackles things a lot differently. So I'm hoping that it's good. But yeah, man, Telltale is a weird one.
Yeah, but other good story
indie games.
I mean, we were talking about Limbo and Inside.
Yeah,
my gosh, I cannot say this enough. The Inside is flawless. I'm
gonna play that this week.
It is like 3 hours, so like
it's like $15, right?
Yeah,
I think. Like
I got it as soon as it came out on PC, so it is like I was just like,
you're like, it's in, I'm here, it's happening.
Like I turned the lights off. I like the controls are such that you can play it with one hand. So I was just like sitting here like resting my hand on my face while the other hand was playing. It's just like, oh my gosh, play it like with headphones, like because it is. The sound design is brilliant too. Like
I might do that tonight.
It's an amazing game.
I might do that tonight.
And that so Transistor. You last
yes.
You're like,
so I was like
Transistor phone case.
I was like, hold up, that's Transistor.
Yes.
Okay, so I have not played Transistor. I have played Bastion though.
Bastion is really cool.
I did not beat Bastion because I felt like it got very repetitive.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I have like 30 million other games I could be playing right now. Maybe I'll come back to this.
Bastion was good because it was a cool concept. The art style is awesome.
Yeah.
And it was charming.
Very.
You know what I mean?
Very
like
charming.
The narrator and like
totally.
The music is excellent.
Yes.
Same guy does the music for Transistor.
Yeah.
The music in Transistor, like, you should just play Transistor just for the soundtrack.
Really?
Like,
is it on Xbox One? Do you know? Or is
I don't know if it's on Xbox One. You can play it on PC, play it on Xbox 360, I believe. But man, it's on Steam.
Yes.
Your computer can run it. I guarantee it.
Okay, great.
But Transistor makes this world, this beautiful story, and like there's songs with words in the game.
Okay, that's cool.
And the main character that you play as, her name is Red, and she was a singer.
Okay.
Like she was like in the city, and she was like a famous singer or whatever.
Yeah.
And so whenever like the incident that happens that sort of starts the game, like it takes her voice away.
Okay.
And so the sword that she's carrying around, the Transistor, has like someone in it, and he's the one that talks to you the entire game.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
So it's a story about like her and him, and like the stuff that they go through to sort of fix the thing that's happening.
That's awesome.
That's as vague
as
don't
I can give me,
be
like,
without...
I want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to play it. Man, there's so many games I want to play, though. Like,
yeah.
As we were also talking before, like, I just don't have time. Like, it's just it's so hard to, like, find time. And so, like, when you tell me I can play all of Inside in 3 hours, I'm like, I have 3 hours.
Make that time.
I can make 3 hours. Like, man, like, either tonight or tomorrow night, maybe I'll just, like, sit down and play through Inside. And, like, it'll be great.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's great.
Just a little quick thing about Inside again. Just like, so my first playthrough of Inside, there's in the very beginning of the game, there's like a cornfield that you're walking through, and there's like a fence or whatever, and you know as as you walk up to it, he kind of like, like crawls underneath it, like to get under the fence. My second playthrough, I was like, I'm gonna jump at it this time because I know he's gonna like crawl underneath it. I jump at it. He like turns out it's a gate and it opens and he sort of like trips and like stumbles and like keeps running.
But like
seamless
like
animation.
Either way, he's oh man.
And it's just the little things like that that are just like.
What have you been playing recently? Like, what's like the last thing you played?
What was the last thing I played?
Putting you on the spot, man.
Civ 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm not a huge fan.
That time consuming. Like, a friend was asking me, Terry. Hi, Terry. He was like, "How do you have like 6 hours on Civilization? You've only played 2 games of Civilization." And I was like,
"Because that's what Civilization is.
It's a long game."
Yes.
I was also playing Brutal Legend.
Oh, that game's awesome.
Yeah.
That game is so much fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just the whole concept is great.
It's really weird on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting on my controller to come in because I ordered one of the custom Xbox One controllers.
Oh, nice.
So that I can continue playing Brutal Legend because it is just not manageable with
the PC.
With mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have this like quirk in my brain that mouse and keyboard means sword and board, which is like a sword fighting term for like sword and shield.
Yes.
I imagine mouse and keyboard
like
sword
that.
And board.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool, man. Brutal Legend's fun.
Yeah. Just because there was the summer Steam sale was like. My Steam library went from being like 3 games to like having a scroll bar.
Yeah.
And I'm not proud of how much money I spent, but I'm also proud that I have all these games to play.
Right? Yeah, man. I don't know. I love like TV and movies and music and comics and video games, but I like never know which one to go to.
Yeah.
So when I have very limited time, it's like very hard for me. But I think this weekend. I think this is the weekend.
Sure.
That I'm gonna play some games. Man.
Yeah. And like look up how there's this website actually. It's called like How Long to Beat.
Yeah,
I think.
totally.
And you can just look up like, oh, how long is this game? All right. Well, let me like manage. What games are going to play?
It's
like, oh, this game's short.
I have I have a bunch of retro games that I like to play as well, like randomly. So I kind of collected. I say collected very like loosely. I'm not one of those guys who like goes for like. Gotta have everything complete in box. Gotta have like like pristine condition. Like I just want to play some
stadium
games.
events.
I just want to play. I'm never gonna be that guy, right? Like I just want to play some freaking video games sometimes, And so actually, my NES is broke right now.
Oh man,
which bums me out because I'm like, I have all these games, and my girlfriend loves playing Marble Madness. I found it, but then my NES is broken. I'm like, no. But anyway, I like never know which one to play. I don't remember what I was going to say. I collected for a bit and then like kind of just got out of it for dumb reasons and just like never really got back to it. But I was at a Goodwill. This was probably in the beginning of summer, maybe. With some friends, and we were kind of like, oh, let's just stop in a Goodwill and like look around because thrift stores are great. I love thrift stores.
Sure.
And so I go in and I'm like, I'm gonna check out the electronics because I've looked at everything else. So I like walked down this aisle, and sitting on the shelf is a Sega Genesis.
Cool.
With a $5 price tag. And I was like, man, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna get this. Doesn't have any of the cables or controllers or games or anything, but I'm gonna get this because I feel like I should. And then I went and at Vintage Stock they have
controllers.
I bought controllers and power and like the
AV cable.
Yeah, AV cable. I got all of those for fairly cheap, and then they had a bunch of like $1 to $2 games that I was like, I'm gonna pick these up.
Yeah.
I just started kind of like playing, messing with like Sega Genesis for the first time in a long time. Well, I didn't have a TV to hook it up to, so I went and bought a CRT. So now in my room, I have a CRT sitting on top of my bass amp, just like sitting there, and I have this little video game station again that I can play, and like I have my Xbox One in the living room, which is great, but like, you know, sometimes like my roommate wants to watch TV or he's hanging out, like I don't always want to go in there and like kick him out or like bother him with my dumb video games or whatever, and he plays, he has a 360 in there as well, so he'll be able to play that. But yeah, so like I started playing like retro games again, and like, man, they're so much fun. Like,
God. I hear say that Super Mario 3 is the best game ever.
That's not even my favorite Mario, personally. I think Super Mario World is better. I don't know, man. It's one of those subjective things. Like,
yeah, sure.
It's kind of like, what's the best album ever made?
Yeah.
Like what, Sgt. Pepper's? Yeah, but like, if you're not into the Beatles, first of all, you're wrong. But second of all, no. But I mean, like, it's such a subjective...
For me, it's in rainbows, but...
Exactly, right? Like, for me, I can't choose. Oh, God. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I think it's all a subjective thing.
Earlier, since, like... you had mentioned, like, favorite game. Like, it's a hard...
Yes.
Favorite-ish game.
You're good, man. So... Oh, man. Thinking about it, like Red Dead Redemption's really up there for me because that was a very like pivotal game for me. I love Super Mario World though as well on the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was my first console.
Yeah.
And man, like I played a lot of that game and just Mario. My dad's like older than most like people my age.
Sure.
And so he, his idea of a video game when he was growing up was Asteroids in the arcade, and like Atari wasn't even out or anything, you know, like he just didn't. And so we would sit down and play Mario together, and he didn't know what he was doing, and I was so young, I didn't know what I was doing. So but yeah, that's a game that kind of holds a lot of nostalgia for me.
See, and that I feel like that is kind of the debate that you have to go through. Like, what's your favorite game via nostalgia, and what's your favorite game just because it's your favorite game?
Yeah, no, totally. Well, like, you had mentioned, original Xbox.
Yeah, for me, my favorite game via nostalgia is probably Fable, Lost Chapters.
Yeah. Which I couldn't even get through.
Oh, it's so good. I've beaten that game so many times.
I should try to play it again.
I can tell you where everything is. Like, every single secret, every single... Like, that's how much I play that game.
Yeah.
But favorite game, even past that, like... Lately, I've been going with, like... Transistor or Fez...
I haven't played Fez. I want to play Fez.
Fez is real cool. The puzzles are difficult.
Doesn't it get like super like crazy deep and like holy crap?
The music is also excellent.
Yeah.
And then Portal.
Portal's
I've beaten
so
Portal.
much fun.
I've beaten Portal so many times.
You played Portal 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't beaten the co-op because I don't have friends. So
get your girlfriend to play with you.
And so, I haven't done Portal 2's co-op, but Portal, like, I can recite most of the lines in Portal.
That's great.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, like, video games are a weird thing because I feel like just now it is becoming not like you're a weirdo and play video games. Like, even in high school, like, I did not tell people that. I was like, I don't. Like, even now, occasionally, like, I just don't.
Well, even in music school, it kind of feels like, oh, you play video games? Like,
yeah.
Why are you wasting your time? Why aren't you practicing?
Yeah.
You know?
But,
like, shouldn't you be catching up on music or whatever?
Yeah, but, like, there's so many good... I like playing video games, but, like, when I play video games, most of the time... Now, it depends on the game, but most of the time, I'll throw some records on. And I'll listen to music while I'm playing this game. Like, for instance, like in... Like, my latest game I've played is, like, Saints Row 4. And most of the time as I'm playing that, which has not been a ton of time, but I'll, like, throw a record on or put a CD in or something like that and listen to some music and just, like, relax and do that. Because the music is not necessarily super important from that game. Like, yeah, it builds that world or whatever, but, like... Or, like, podcasting. Not
necessarily in
but, like,
Saints
in that...
Row 4.
Yeah, like, Saints Row 4, like... Which is a dumb game. Oh, it's so dumb. Do you know about Saints Row 4?
You play as superhero president.
Yeah, you play the superhero president. You have to fight against an alien invasion.
Yeah.
Okay, so that game starts off with this super, like, ha-ha-ha joke on Call of Duty type thing. And then there's, like, a nuclear bomb that gets launched, and you jump on the side of the nuclear bomb. And you start climbing up the nuclear bomb slowly, right? And I'm like, I'm playing this, and I'm like, this is stupid, but, like, in a good way. Like, not like, I'm mad. Like, this is super dumb and awesome and funny. And as you're climbing up...
In the same way, like, Brutal Legend.
Yeah, totally. And as you're climbing up, slowly fading in as Aerosmith's Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Just like the movie Armageddon. Yeah. So I was immediately sold on that game, right? Because it's like, you know... And you're, like, climbing up this, like, nuclear bomb, and then, like, all these people are coming over the intercom, or, like, your headset or whatever, being like, I'm gonna miss you, man, blah, blah, blah. And, like, oh, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But, like, ultimately, the music in that game is just filler.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, I'll listen to that, or I'll put on some podcasts, like, catch up podcasts, or even, like, watch YouTube or a TV show and, like, have it on my, like... I'll usually, like, be sitting on my couch, I'll have it on my, like, my laptop on my lap, and then just be playing Xbox or something. Yeah. And, like, oh, like, a cutscene happens, or if I don't really care about what's going on, I'll just, like, sit down and, like, watch, I don't know, a show or something. Yeah, but...
no, I mean, to me, since, like, the game story experience is, like, incredibly important, I want to make sure that, like, what the developers intended for me to, like, be seeing or hearing or whatever. It's like, you know, some sound designers spend a lot of work, you know, making sure that the right footstep happened whenever you step off of gravel to grass, or like, you know, the way that the tracks, like, transition into one another whenever you're going in between battle or just free roam. Like, that's... Yeah.
I will say, we kind of talked about this, but so I've never beat a Final Fantasy game. I've always been super fascinated with the Final Fantasy series because I think they're so cool and, like, it's been so long, they've lasted so long, there've been so many different iterations. Yeah. So I have 9 and I've been playing through that. And I'm forever into it and I have forever to go because those games are, like, way too long. Yeah. It's great. I love it. You know, the music for the first... So...
Nobuo Uematsu.
Yes. That guy, for the first time, I don't want to say ever because obviously I love, like Mario's music and, like, Donkey Kong Country, like, that, like, classic Donkey Kong music is great. But, like...
Kondo and I can't remember what... right.
Yeah.
Koji Kondo is Mario.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's obviously, like, classic music and I love. But, like, for the first time in a long time when I was playing a game did I think, man, this music is phenomenal. Yeah. To the point where I was like, I'm going to buy this. Like, I haven't bought it yet just because you can buy the album of all the stuff, but it's like $30 on iTunes. Sure. And I'm like, oh, man.
It's also just a lot of music.
It is.
There's a lot of music in these games.
It's hard for me to pull the trigger on that. But there's one track in particular that if my girlfriend is listening right now, she's going to laugh because I wrote my own lyrics to it and sing it all the time. No, it's so dumb. It is. So when you're in the world map, you can, if you go to this place on the first part of the game, when it first opens up to the world map, you go to a place called, like, Chocobo Forest. And you get a chocobo, obviously, which is like the little bird thing. And
whenever you're riding
the chocobo, there's a song called Ukulele Date Chocobo that comes up, that plays. And
those are usually like fun songs.
Yes, and it's like it's ukulele date chocobo, so a ukulele and a little like bouncy little melody.
Yeah.
Oh man, that song gets stuck in my head, and I sing it to myself all the time. Like, and that has like really never happened with a video game before for me. But like, it makes me want to like the music makes me want to play that game more because like the battle theme is like like it's like chugging guitar, and I'm like, we're going to battle. Like oh man, it's so stupid,
exactly.
but it's so good.
No, what weighs in a lot on my favorite games is the music.
Yeah,
that like the Portal 2 soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like all like super electronic, like kind of orchestral in the beginning, but like it's still electronic. Like it's so cool. But like even Fable, like the Fable soundtrack is catchy and quirky with like there's not even that much music in it, but they just reuse a whole lot of it.
Yeah,
and
but it's just like
it
good.
Still fit. It's so good.
Oh,
like
man,
while you're just running around the map or whatever, do 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 do. Like
well,
oh
it's
gosh,
great. It's great when like when like a theme like it's stuck in your head, and then when you're like walking down the street, you're like, yeah, I am. Like you're singing it to yourself. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's
but which is why like Transistor has still resonated with me. Like the story and the game is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But like the music is so good. Same with Fez. That music is so good.
Yeah, I need to play that. My roommate bought that game. He hasn't played it yet, but he bought it. I need to, man.
Yeah.
There's so, like, listen, I think I have to, like, this weekend, I'm just going to finish my homework and then play a bunch of video games.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Cool. I think we can wrap up.
Cool.
I'm Santiago Ramones.
I'm Jimmy Jackson.
This is a separate podcast. You got to plug your things.
Oh, yeah. So, iTunes and Spotify, Sage Cross, SAIGE, as well as Grant Adams, who has a EP coming out next month.
Cool.
Dr. Pants
Your website's just Dr. Pants, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's Dr. Pants, yeah. You can find him on all social media and whatnot. Lots of music. As well as Kaylee Gosden, her photography. Shout out to that. Also, play some video games this weekend.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know when this is coming out, but whenever this comes out, after it comes out, like, play some games because it's fun.
Play some games.
Also, listen to music and listen to full records. Listen to full albums.
Oh, yeah. Listen to them as a thing.
Singles are great. Listen to full albums because they're even better.
Yeah, consider it like watching like an episode of a thing,
Absolutely.
Like albums are, 15 minutes to an hour or something.
Yeah.
Like you can get in that.
Like, yes, it's just audio and not necessarily a visual aspect, but it, music changed my life, so.
Yeah, man. Your Twitter?
Twitter is, at SweetJimmyBBQ, which is a really dumb name, but, if you ever need a drummer, hit me up.
Yeah. And I'm Santiago Ramones. You can find all the stuff that I do on my website, SantiagoRamones.com. I always end with my 3 things, which is love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong,